Okay, hello, welcome back to the Football Rundown. We're back here with a delayed podcast. A few technical issues with the sound. I think we've sorted it now, so do let us know in the old comments if it's not working. But first, I want to say welcome back to the channel, Adam. You've not been on the channel, have you, since pre-match Wickham away? Leyton Orient.
Yeah, I was about to say Leyton Orient.
But we didn't get you for the second leg, so we didn't get you pre-match or post-match.
Oh, did we not?
No. So I'm going to start on a negative. I want to take you back to that second leg game. What your thoughts going into the game, and just how different was it than how you thought it was going to go?
My thoughts going into the game, I was still optimistic because, the second leg we were at home with the home crowd behind us, and you have to be optimistic in times like that for a playoff second leg.
Yeah,
that's a mad one. Hang on, there's someone trolling the chat. I'm just going to ban them real quick. Okay, sorted. Okay, so yeah, there is a. Okay, good. So yeah, basically, I was still optimistic. Obviously, very nervous about it, as you would be for a playoff second leg. But I mean, obviously, they scored within like the first 2 minutes. I still wasn't giving up hope then. The only time I really actually thought, it's done here was during the penalty shootout, when we missed our penalties. That was the only time I thought it was over.
It wasn't a great penalty shootout, was it?
No.
I've got to be honest. The optimism when it got to extra time, I think, for me, because it just looked like it wasn't going to be our day.
Well, we had those two chances, one right at the end of normal time, right, and the other right at the end of extra time, where we really should have scored those chances. But
Odin Bailey had one, didn't he? I think it hit was it outside the post, if I remember correctly.
And who's was it Alafe, the other one?
Tanto had one as well. But to be fair, let him off because he scored the goal with the equaliser in the first place.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, disappointing. Didn't go how I thought it was going to go. To be fair, it didn't really hit me that we weren't going to get into the final till probably quite late on in the game. And then it hit me, and I was like, "Shit, we might not actually end up getting to the the playoff final here." But yeah, anyway, so that happened. We got over that. A lot of the squad's changed, or quite a bit of the squad's changed over the summer. We've seen quite a lot of players leave the football club. Want to get your thoughts on that? What's the, is the one player which is left which you thought, I can't believe he's gone and we really needed to keep him, or are you fairly happy with the players that have gone?
I'll just try and cast my mind back. Obviously, Southam Hales was a big bummer to see go, but that was kind of coming for us, I guess. And with his, don't get me wrong, he's a cracking player when fit, but that's rarely ever the case. He's very injury prone. But that's a shame. Also, Alafe, it was sad to see him go because he's so key. But I mean, I don't know. We've got some really good players, and obviously we've now broken our transfer record for Mothersville from Peterborough.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. I mean, obviously, quite a lot of defence has been broken up. A great defensive record in League One last season. I think it was the third best defensive record in League One, if I remember correctly. So solid defence. Ibby's gone, Horsfall's gone, Noyle's gone, Southam Hales has gone, Rydell's out on loan. Lost quite a few. Horsfall, if I'm not mentioning him already, of course, gone to Blackpool. So we've lost the heart of that defence. Ethan Pye remains for now. We'll get on to that at some point. But yeah, I think that I'm just trying to read the comments as well at the same time. I think that obviously you've sort of alluded to it. We have brought in players. We've smashed the transfer record with one of those signings. But I'm going to start with the defenders that have come in because that's mainly the bulk of our business so far. Tayo Edom from Peterborough, the lad from Barnsley, Corey O'Keefe, Joseph Balawu, and then of course this week we've seen Artu Hoskinen. Yeah. So what are your thoughts on that?
Hoskinen is a real interesting one. I remember the first time I saw it, I was like, "Nah, that's a load of bollocks. This is the most random thing ever." But boy, was I wrong about that. I mean, apparently he is a Finnish international. Apparently, he scored against England the last time we played Finland.
Yeah,
so we're bringing in players.
I remember watching the game, but it doesn't particularly stand out to me. Him scoring the goal, I sort of probably switched off, as we do in most England friendlies, to be fair, or qualifiers.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
But yeah, I mean, scoring against England's senior team, it's not a bad thing to have on your career CV, is it, by any means? And of course, he has, he's got experience playing in Europe, Europa League, Conference League as well. So comes in good age as well, 28 years of age. Pretty much, I think, as I said it on the video I did the other day when we signed him, feels like the contracts that we offered Horsfall, probably. Similar profile of age, similar profile of player by sounds of it. I'm just gutted. We've lost a lot of our songs, haven't we? I know that's not what the recruitment team are going to be thinking, but they're letting players, leave the football club.
If the atmosphere goes flat now because of the amount of players we lost.
But that's what I was thinking a couple of weeks ago. I thought, shit, we've let a lot of players go. What's the opening day at Bolton going to be like with no songs really? I mean, we still have songs, but we don't have a Laffy, we don't have Horsfall.
And before it's just going to be Bolton get battered from the first minute.
Well, yeah, I mean, we've done not too bad against them in recent times, have we? So, and it's a good opening game. I know some people are disappointed with it being on a Sunday and at 12 o'clock. I had to double check it before. I thought it might have been 12:30, but it's actually 12 o'clock. Going to ask you some more questions. Just going to quickly have a quick skim of the comments. So
go for it.
We've got questions there about transfer news or rumours. Nothing really at the moment. I think there was a little bit of talk of Anyango and might have been another player from Everton potentially coming on loan as well. I think he might have even been training with County.
Yeah, it was
but yeah. So people saying Nathan Lowe to County. I've seen something about that on a Stoke news site, which has said that apparently Chalner was there for I think it was a game against Crewe, but then we played Crewe, so he might have just been observing that match to see what Crewe are about rather than Nathan Lowe specifically. And
I think Nathan Lowe, for what I've seen, apparently he's going to go elsewhere. I'm not sure if we're like the top dogs in the running for that.
No, I mean, we don't tend to be the top dogs in a lot of these races. A lot of the time we do seem to be linked to players, and they don't always end up being the ones we get. Very rarely do we get a player that we've been really heavily linked with. A lot of time it has come out of the blue. Although, we did have the one with the Finland international, and I'm sure we'll see some other players come in before the window shuts, maybe even before the season starts as well. Okay, so he's saying don't think he's coming. Scott, obviously keep up the good work, lads. Thanks very much for that one.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, I had a listen to their podcast as well yesterday. It's yesterday, isn't it? Yeah, the first live one of the season. So that was good. But obviously we're going to try and cover something slightly different in this. But yeah, I had a few questions written down, organised for a change. So I've asked you about Orient losing penalties. Thoughts on the new players. Is there one player that has come in that you're really excited for in particular?
No, not necessarily, but obviously you can't just go. Like, for example, people saying with a Mothercell. I remember seeing that thinking, wow, that's a crack sign of that.
Yeah.
But obviously, you go on to what people are saying like online about them. Basically, vast majority of people fans were like laughing. And obviously, I spoke to my dad once. I always have to bring this up, but my dad's a Peterborough fan. He said it was sad to see him go because he is a cracking player. But the one thing he does say about him is he has a bit of an attitude to him. He said because he came through Chelsea's academy, he was like considered one of their top prospects. He's got a kind of maybe a big fish in a small pond attitude. That's what my dad said. So hopefully Cheltenham can bring his kind of ego under control.
Well, put it this way, I don't think Cheltenham would stand for many players that have an ego, and I think if that's the case, he's not going to last very long. But the way I see it, I think he'll do well because he's come in club record signing. It does have pressure because I don't think we're in a position now where we can sit here and go, "Oh, we need to give him time." He does need time to an extent, but he's also got to deliver because the amount of money he's been brought in for.
He's going to be a starter, 100%.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, he's the player that does interest me the most, potentially excite me the most because it looks like he's going to be a player that's going to take other players on. He's going to run at teams. He's, I've read a bit about him. Great technical ability. Happy to take on a defender. Decent as well with his passing. And I think you said it there. I was surprised when I saw him coming in because I thought when Alafi moved on, I didn't think we were going to spend the bulk of that money on one player. And so actually, because I didn't think that was going to happen, when it did happen, I thought actually we might manage without Alafi here because you could argue we've actually upgraded on him because if you look at his numbers in League One for Peterborough the last, I think it's 2 seasons.
It was the top scorer, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, he's certainly been up there for goal involvements across the last 2 seasons for Peterborough. So in the same division which we're currently in. So he's going to be definitely one to keep an eye out on. I'm interested to see where Cheltenham wants to fit him in, because I think he can play down the middle as a striker. I think he can play on the left-hand side. I think he can play behind the striker as well. So very adaptable, versatile. But I do think he'll slot into that left-hand side position where we did see Barry at times. One. Yeah. And I'm definitely excited to see him play. But, is any more players, any more positions you still think we need to strengthen?
Yes, I think we've right now for left back, because we sent Rydell on loan and because Tory left, we've only got one player, and that's Teo Edon. So we need cover for him as well. So I'm still expecting us to bring in another left back, whether that's permanent or on loan. I'm not sure just yet. But I'm not also sorry, Bob.
Go on. I was going to say we're linked with a left back from Burnley, I think, about a month or so ago.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Quiet on that. I was telling you about him.
Sorry, his name now.
Owen something, I think his name was.
Okay.
Left back, Burnley, young left back.
Right.
I thought there might be legs to that story, because around that time I think Rydell had gone out on loan to Exeter. So interesting move on that one. I know you've just said left back there. What are your thoughts on the right back position? Because Southern Hales, Noyle both gone. We brought in Corey O'Keefe, but from reading a little bit from Barnsley fans about him and listening to his interview, he said his best position is a right wing back, which would suit us on a three at the back system. Sounds like he's very good going forward, but not very good defensively. No. Do you think we'll still see another right back come in? Maybe it can play in a 4, or do you think we'll play maybe Jay Mingy there when available?
Well, he took the words right out of my mouth there, because I was going to say we started out with playing Jay Mingy at right back. Yeah. Obviously, at Colchester he was more of a centre mid or a defensive midfielder, but then we utilised him at right back. So I think it'll be him and it'll be O'Keefe and Mingy for the right side position. And O'Keefe, it sounds like one of the typical kind of modern day football fullbacks, well, almost inverted wing backs, you could say, where they're fantastic. They're almost like they build the attack from deep. They help be part of it, but then defensively they can be a bit.
We want to be a team on the front foot, don't we? So we want our wing backs to be aggressive, good at going forward. And if you've got some good centre back cover around you, then you can kind of get away with not being the best defensively. I know there's some Barnsley fans might look at it and go, take him. We're sort of glad that he's gone. That's probably because he might suit our system better. I mean, we've seen Cheltenham bring in players that maybe weren't the most favoured at their current clubs, and they've gone and done something in a county shirt. I think even Louis Barry. In fact, Louis Barry's probably the best example of that. I didn't do particularly well at Salford, and his other loan spells. I think was it MK Dons he might have been at as well at one point.
It was MK Dons and Salford. I think. Where else was he? I can't remember.
Ipswich as well, I think so.
Beautiful bastard.
And he didn't do particularly well in those loan spells. And they come to County, and it's like a completely different player. And that ability was always there, because Barcelona don't sign someone at age 16 or however old he was at the time. If there's no talent there. So Cheltenham managed to unearth that talent. I'm sure we'll see him hopefully do the same with Corey O'Keefe, but at a different age, 26, 27 he comes in at. So we're hoping to see more or less the finished product. He's played the last 3 or 4 years in League One. He's an established League One right back now. So I think he'll be the starting one. To be honest, Nigel's in the chat. Owen Dodgson, that's the one I was thinking of. That's the one. I think he's at Burnley. Hayden Roberts, Bristol City, left wing back, left centre back. Interesting according to Bristol Paper.
I haven't seen anything about that. Well, I know the player.
I've heard the name. I've not heard anything about him linked to County. Maybe want to keep an eye out on what I would say is Bristol Paper. Maybe Bristol will try to get rid of him, and it's easy to say that to your local paper, and link him with somewhere if we want to get rid. Onyango and Hills for right back. That's a shout, isn't it? Onyango, I think, was with County and Pinnerty. He's gone back to Everton since. Hills still at Norwich.
He might actually be part of the first team.
Yeah, I said back in the last season. I said if Hills goes, it's going to be late on in the summer, because there's a new manager at Norwich. They're going to want to take a look at him, and I think that's probably what's happening. And it seems like a similar thing might be happening with Tyler Onyango as well at Everton, because I thought his contract was up. It must have been extended, maybe activated the option of an extra year, because it seems that if we're going to get him now, we've got to activate we got to sign him, we got to agree a fee, rather than just sign him on a free transfer, which
Yeah.
might actually put County off, potentially, because I know we like to do free transfers a lot of the time. So we spoke about that. Transfers in terms of up front, how do you think we're looking?
I think we're still looking good up front. Obviously, Benno Andresen came in January, and obviously he had that run of voice. So he came into the team immediately, was loved by fans, scored 3 and 2. Sorry,
it was Blackpool. The 2 goals at Blackpool off the bench, and then I think it was Northampton on the Tuesday.
Yeah, where he scored a header from nearly outside the box.
Yeah, and then he's seen his game time limited a little bit, but obviously they put that down to sort of having to adapt and also being a little bit behind because he hadn't played much, had he? I think their season finished in October over in Iceland. But I think
apparently, sorry,
go on.
So I never mean to talk over you. Apologies. But I was just going to say, apparently in County played a behind closed doors pre-season game. Apparently he got like 4 goals in that.
Yeah, 4 goals against I think it was their reserves.
Everton. It would have been a youth team.
Yeah, it's still promising though, isn't it? And you can see he's a born finisher. He's a born goal scorer, and he needs those he needs that game time. But obviously we know Chelna. He's a big fan of Button. He sees him as a sort of integral way to how County play or how he wants County to play. It's going to be difficult for Anderson to get ahead of him because even though Anderson might be a goal scorer, does he add all those other things in the game that Chelna sees Wootton bring into the game? And then on top of that, how do we bring in another striker? Because I think some people are the belief we need another striker. And I kind of was, to be fair. But then I look at it and I imagine I'm the manager for one day. How would you manage? Because you've already got Anderson desperate for minutes behind Wootton.
Yeah.
Adding a third player into the mix, especially if it's an out-and-out centre-forward, not someone who can necessarily play out wide. Like Alafi could play out wide as well, couldn't he? So you could still get game time for him. You've also got Mothersill who can play there as well down the middle if you need him to. So I don't know if there's really the option there to bring in another striker.
No, I don't think there is. I can only imagine if we get another striker, it's because one of either Wootton or Andresen goes, and I can't see that.
Yeah, I think that's kind of where. I mean, obviously, Wootton's not getting any younger as well. I think the natural progression would be at some point in the next few years he would probably move on, and you kind of want to keep Mothersill and Anderson, and you want to add to the top of that really. But let's see what happens on that one. I don't see anything happening in terms of players going out in that area of the pitch before now at the end of this summer transfer window. So I think we'll more or less stick with what we've got in terms of strikers coming in. I don't think that's going to be very likely. We're just going to touch on the friendlies. Obviously, me and you are going to be at the Salford and the Hull friendlies this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on that in terms of 2 games back-to-back days? What kind of teams do you think we're going to see in both matches?
It'll be 2 completely different teams for both games, but that's what we usually do. We'll play like 1 game one day, and then the next day we do something different. Because I know we've done that in seasons before. It was when was it? I think I remember last summer we played Blackburn on a Friday night, and then we played. It would have been Stoke or somewhat Huddersfield. It was one of them on Saturday.
Yeah, rings the bell. We went to the Blackburn game.
Yeah,
their striker was terrible that day.
And they scored and they scored one in the actual cup game.
Did he? Yeah. He'd come from Belgium. He'd come from Belgium, I think.
Senegalese striker.
Yeah, I can't remember his name now, but he was terrible in that game. Let's not talk about the cup game against them, eh? But yeah. So, I think it's going to be a rotated team. I think you're going to see a mixed bag. I think you're going to see some first teamers start the game with some maybe reserve players, and then I think they'll swap around, and I think you'll see some players play in both matches. That's what I'm thinking. I might change my mind in, sort of almost 24 hours from now when I see the lineup come out, I don't know, 6:30 or whenever it'll be. Because if it's full strength or it's full reserve, that pretty much most of them, like I say, it's got to be a mix from the start for it to be a mix over 2 games, I think. So, be interesting one to keep an eye out on. But of course, the most important thing, it's more about just getting minutes in the players' legs. We've not really had a pre-season in terms of like friendlies as much this summer.
We really had Pinatar.
Yeah, and obviously the season starts next week, so feels like not really many friendlies, and then suddenly you've got 2 a week before the season, back-to-back days. It seems a little bit different.
I'm not complaining. Football's back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, I've really missed that. I know we have had the Club World Cup on and things like that to watch, but it's not the same.
I didn't give a shit about that.
Oh, there we go. I think the only person who gave a shit about that was Donald Trump, and that's just so he could be at the front of it all. But do you see him getting the medal for himself, sneaking one in?
What? You told me Trump's turning into John Terry now?
Yeah. Well, there's an image I don't want in my head. Then again, there's several images of Trump I don't really want in my head, and that's probably the only time we'll mention Donald Trump on this, because he's got those things going on.
Yeah, if we get into politics, we're gonna gonna go bad.
Let's get away from that. Need cover up front, says Nigel, and he's made the point here: if Wootton and Benno get injured, we are screwed. Yeah, but I mean, you've got to look at the likelihood of that happening, and if that does happen, you've got Mothercell can play there as well. So I know what you're saying, but who do you bring in? You end up with a Cosgrove who is barely going to play and probably not up to the standard. So we may well see maybe a sort of cover type striker come in, but we're not going to see a Nathan Lowe come in and just play as a cover.
I know what Nigel means, though.
Yeah. The only way you're getting a player like a Nathan Lowe or someone that is going to be of a sort of very good quality for this level is if they're going to be guaranteed minutes. And we saw with Cosgrove, he came in, I think he maybe played half an hour in 6 months. So whoever comes in, if we try and bring in a cover striker, they're going to look at that and see the amount of minutes Cosgrove got and thought, don't fancy that. It's a bit like being a third choice goalkeeper, really, being a sort of third or fourth choice striker. You're never really going to play, and you're just there to sort of
collect money
standards or maintain the standards of in training. Stefan Ortega's in the chat. I don't think he's the one who plays for Manchester City. He says thoughts on Charlton's window. I mean, I've not looked loads at what Charlton are doing, obviously, but I've seen they've got they signed a guy from Blackpool. Obviously, they've signed a Latty. I think they're trying to go strong, aren't they, in the Championship, throw a bit of money at it. It's nice to see. We do see some teams go up and they're not really look to spend because they're worried about going straight back down. I think Charlton seems to be trying to get himself as geared up to be ready for the Championship as possible. And good luck to him, because at the end of the day, if Charlton can do well in their first season in the Championship, then there's a sort of blueprint there for County when they do it at the end of this season. I'm sticking my neck out on the line there. Which kind of brings me on to one of my next questions. Expectations for the season?
Expectations, okay. Right, people. If I was to say this in like some random place on the internet, people would you get a few people understanding it, but and then a few people laughing at it. But I reckon this season we got to go for automatic promotion.
I don't think that's controversial by any means. I think that's kind of a given. We have to go for that. We finished third last season. A lot of people feel that trust the process, but they feel we've got a better squad going into this season than we did last season. So by that logic, then we have to improve on last season, and the only way you improve on last season is through finishing the automatic spot, surely. Yeah,
but the one sticking point with other fans will be the level of competition that's coming down. Obviously, Cardiff, Luton, and Plymouth that have come down. They're probably going to be very strong. And then obviously you got all the other teams that keep strengthening.
Yeah, well, I was just going to say Bradford, a team that have come up, and I look at them, and for some reason, it's a gut feeling. I think they're going to do fairly well in League One. So
I can imagine so.
But yeah, at Luton, I mean, obviously opening day of League One's on the Friday night, and it's Luton against Wimbledon, a team that's come up, a team that's just come down. That's going to be interesting because Wimbledon, they've got a few ex-county players in there. Be interesting to see how much of a strong season they'll have. But then you got Luton on the other hand, the fake batters, if you like. It'd be interesting to see how they do.
We were formed 2 years before you were twats.
Yeah, we saw teams come down last season from the Championship like Rotherham, who thought they would have had a better season. It didn't necessarily go how they would have wanted to. We also had teams like Huddersfield, who many had down for second last season.
Oh yeah,
they finished 10th in the end. They seem to be chucking a bit of money around as well now. So it's going to be a very, very strong league. Of course, a lot of people are saying Plymouth Argyle could have a strong season, but it doesn't feel like you've got that obvious answer in terms of who will finish first like we did last season.
No,
because everyone kind of said Birmingham will walk the league, and whoever finishes second, could be
sure
anyone.
Enough they did.
Yeah, whereas I think this year it's kind of like we know there's teams. Yeah, we know there's teams that could do well, but we're not as convinced on one team like everyone was with sort of last year. I think it's got to be promotion.
Yeah.
I don't know if we win it. Because of the competition we spoke about. I'll probably be able to answer the question better once we've had a few games in. I know it's a bit of a cop-out answer, but I think I'm just happy to get to that opening day against Bolton, see the team sheet comes out, and then hopefully have a strong start, because we did last season, but it didn't. It seemed to have a bit of a dip as well. Sort of September felt like a bit of a dip. We lost quite badly to Leyton Orient. We had a dip around. Was it December time where we lost at Birmingham? We lost at Stevenage.
We had a bad losing run.
Yeah. Other than that, we had a pretty strong season. That's why we finished third. So it's kind of hard to look at where you really correct the mistakes. And obviously, a lot of changes have been made. So we are going to have to allow for a little bit of a settling-in period for that defence in particular. But I think second would be a fair expectation.
I'd say
a fair aim. But yeah, let's just have a quick look as well. Nigel's saying in the chat, Huddersfield have spent a lot. So are Luton. They will be going for it. Absolutely, that's sort of the way I see it. And bring it on. Really, that's what we want. We want to be challenging with these teams that have been in the Premier League in the last few seasons, like Luton, like Huddersfield. It says a lot about how far County have come on in the position that we put ourselves in. So bring on the challenge, I say.
What was that thing I read where it was like, when Huddersfield were in the Premier League, we were in the National League North?
Yeah, well, that would have been
2018, 2019.
Yeah. Well, 2019, obviously, County got promoted and Huddersfield were relegated. That might have been it for the Premier League. So you're expecting promotion, or that's the aim.
Yeah.
I suppose that kind of answers the question about, do you think we'll have a strong season?
I just can't be asked going through the playoffs again, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I was kind of last season. I was kind of like, I love the idea of going through the playoffs. Going back to Wembley and correcting the mistakes of 2023. But now I look at it and go, we probably should have got to that final over the course of the season. In fact, there's no doubt about it. Literally, by fact, over the course of the season, we should have got there because we were the third best team in the league. But the best teams don't always win in those sort of one-off games.
No.
And over the course of those two games, Leyton Orient found a way. Obviously, with a little bit of help from the referee, let's not forget. But
I've got PTSD.
I just look at it and think, I can't be bothered with the playoffs again. I really can't. Going to go to chat. County's written goal is up in 2027. Perhaps next summer the purse will be opened wide. Well, I think that purse has already been opened wide a little bit with the signing of Malik Mother still. I don't really know how much County are in a position to spend big. Would we be in a stronger position next summer to spend more than what we spent this summer?
It would really depend on how we're doing certain competitions. Like if we did well, say in the FA Cup, we reached the third round again, or even like the fourth round potentially, or like the Carabao Cup, similar. And then obviously going up.
We never get out of the first round of the Carabao Cup, do we? Even when we deserve to, like the
no. Well, we never get further than the second round. Because don't forget, the first season we came back into the Football League. We beat Harrogate first round, then we had Leicester.
I forget about Harrogate, yeah. I in my mind it was Leicester first. Never mind. But yeah, we never do as well. Like we should have beat Leicester in that penalty shootout.
Yeah.
Or not in the penalty shootout. We should have beat Leicester in the game. We thought we were a better team in the game.
I remember I couldn't make that game that night, but I know I remember from the time a lot of people saying like, we should have won that.
We did really well in that game, and we did obviously Sheffield Wednesday the year after. We were robbed, weren't we? Pretty much. Look at that Madden goal.
God, that frigging game! They got outplayed for like 95 minutes, 59 seconds,
and then equalised, and then beat us on penalties.
The final second they got an equaliser, and then obviously it was on penalties.
Yeah. Dan's in the chat. Thanks very much for listening. He said, "Great listening, guys. Don't forget, Keith can play left and right wing back. Interesting. I wasn't aware he could play left. Lots of deadline day dealing this season with an early start." And lots of games played before that window slammed shut. I think we could maybe see someone come deadline day. Obviously, we did it in January, didn't we? We brought in how many players came in January deadline day? There was
Hills, Cosgrove, Moxon.
Moxon, yeah. So we did 3 on deadline day in January. So I'm not opposed to it. I quite enjoyed doing that stream actually on deadline day in January.
I remember that.
I know coming back for the last one when I didn't actually know we were going to sign someone was a masterstroke decision.
Yes, we did that one where it was we'll wait until a certain time, and it came out it was Cosgrove, and everyone was like, "Oh, for God's sake!"
Yeah.
And then we ended the stream, and then like 20 minutes later, it was announced, "Okay, we've got one more."
Yeah, but I'd already decided to go live, thinking that we might have signed someone.
Mm.
So it's very clever for me. Could have backfired though, because I set up the stream as new signing, and if there wasn't a new signing, though,
if it was a brand deal,
wouldn't have aged well. Semi-final in '97, says Nigel. I think that's in regards to.
That is true. That was against Middlesbrough, I think.
Oh, in the League Cup, yeah. Was it 96, 97 season? Yeah. Well,
I'll be honest, Nigel. Neither of us were alive at that time.
No. Which will make him feel very old and makes me feel very young for a change. So, yeah, play in terms of this is more like individually focused. We spoke about Anderson coming in sort of back in the last season. Mothersill. How much do we think we can see these sort of young players improve? Particularly Anderson, sort of on the back of a decent set of cameos, sort of last season.
I think Anderson's going to come to his own this season, especially with the more amount of game time he's going to get, because he only played. Well, he joined in January, and then the season ended in May. So he's only had a few months in England yet, but he's already shown quite a few signs of brilliance. So I'm expecting he'll come on quite a bit. Obviously, Ethan Pye, our player of the season last season, brilliant. And then sorry?
Do you think he'll stay?
I bloody hope so. I mean, I think it'll take a substantial amount for us to actually sell him, because obviously we had that link. You made videos on it. The links with him to West Brom, but I don't know.
It's fine. We've just made a West Brom kit now to keep him. It's fine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's basically what it looks like. So it's
We've
fine.
talked a lot about that.
Just going to get your thoughts on that actually dead quick. Obviously, I've not spoken about it yet on the channel. The two kits, or two of the three kits are out now. Obviously the home one and the home one and the away one.
Home one and the home.
Pretty much is the home one and the home one. I think. I don't think you should be able to sell an away shirt which is exactly the same colours but different shades of the colours as the home one. If that makes sense.
I get that.
What's the point of the away shirt? If you go back in history, the whole point of the away shirt was
avoid the clash of colours.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then okay, they brought in the third kit. It's a bit of a money maker. Like, fair enough. Now they're making even the away kit a money maker. Like, what's next? We'll have like 4 or 5 kits. We've seen teams in the Premier League do that, haven't we? They bring out special kits and things like that. So yeah, dangerous territory to go down. What's your favourite out of the two?
I prefer the home one to the away one, but I haven't got a kit yet. If I'm going to get a kit, it's going to be the home one, or we need to see the third kit yet. Obviously, we don't utilise third kits a lot. This is the third kit from 23-24, which we had some great kits that season.
They completely missed the trick with the away kit, because what they should have done, and I actually forgiven them for this, if they kept the same design as the home one for the away shirt this season, but changed the colours with black and gold, that would have looked amazing. And I think I've told everyone who I've spoke to in the last few weeks about that.
Mm.
And everyone's just said had the same answer. I can't imagine what that would look like, which is I think what you said. I don't know. Maybe let me design a kit next year. Let's see. I just said I'm in my 80th year actively supporting County.
Wow.
Since 1954. That's incredible.
Fair play to you, Nigel.
That's incredible.
You've basically seen everything.
You really have seen it all, haven't you?
Yeah.
Other than the Premier League, which let's see what happens next year.
Nobody else.
He really has seen everything. That's incredible. And I'm guessing he's going to start supporting Celtic or Aberdeen or something. When the ticket office annoys him.
Oh, for God's sake! That whole saga.
Yeah. So Ethan Pye, you're confident he's going to stay. He's got to stay, really, hasn't he? At this point.
I never said I was confident. I was just saying I was holding out hope. If he does go, then we'll get a nice sum of money for it. But that's going to be a big blow to us.
Yeah, they said 3 million. It was quoted at around 3 million a few weeks ago. As it gets later and closer to the the transfer window slamming shut, that value surely goes up. Let's say that's in the final week of the transfer window being open. I think that 3 million quickly rises to at least 5. Because it's then trying to bring in a player once the season's already started that is affordable, but wants to come and is also good enough to replace him. There's so many factors there. I mean, obviously, I trust County, and I'd imagine they will already have players on the list to replace Pye should it happen. But I'm confident now that he'll be. I'm not confident. I'm trying to pretend I'm confident. I'm confident he'll be here for the first game, and I'm hopeful that we'll get to the window slamming shut with him being a Stockport County player. And I just said I bought both the home and away. My away shirt arrived today. It's fabulous. I scouted the club until Megson arrived.
That might be a typo.
Yeah. So yeah. Well, glad that you like both the shirts. I'm not particularly keen on them, but I'd probably say that my favourite out of the two is the home one at the moment, and I do have the home one, and it is usually there, but it's in the wash ready for this weekend. So we spoke about quite a few players actually, and what we think will happen. There's a couple of players I want to talk about though who haven't had the best of times at County recently. And I'm going to ask about whether or not you think these players have a future. Can they turn it around? Jay Mingy's one of them. Lewis Fiorini is one of them, and Nick Powell's the other.
Mingy, I think, will definitely stay because otherwise, we have to get in yet another right back, another fullback.
He just said I was a scout until Megson arrived. Type an error. No, I mean that's incredible.
Oh right,
that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah, I get you.
So that's incredible. That, but with Mingy, what I mean by that is obviously I don't think we're going to sell him, but he didn't really get much game time, did he? It was a little bit like he's in and then he's out, and then he sort of came back, and then he wasn't to be seen again.
No, but he did have injuries.
He did, yeah. But this is, I remember, I can't remember the exact game, what it was. It was around like when we played Burton and Rotherham at home at the end of maybe like mid-March, end of March.
Oh, yeah.
And the message we were getting is that he's injured, he's on his own individual training program. And then he just started, then he was like just back in the team. I think he was either on the bench or he started out of nowhere. And then he was like nowhere to be seen again. I'm like, well, he can't have just come back from injury and got injured again, surely, because that would have been like the third or fourth injury. So no one really knows what's going on with him. We assume it's injury related, but you'd imagine surely now pre-season or new season, he's got to start getting more minutes. Otherwise, questions will continue to be asked about what's gone on there. Because we saw a similar thing. Yeah, we saw a similar thing happen with Sam Hughes, and he was sort of loaned out and then moved on very quickly. So I do want to see him get a bit more game time because when he's played, he's looked good, I thought. But Fiorini's the next one because again, sort of brought in last summer, didn't really get game time, loaned out in January, come back, and some people thought he might have maybe moved on. Obviously, as it gets closer to the season, it looks more and more likely that he's going to be part of the plans. Still no replacement in the door for Will Collar. We already got a sort of ready-made replacement already there in Lewis Fiorini.
I mean, I was one of those people that thought, especially definitely by now, he would have been moved on. So it's kind of a surprise to see, but I don't know if it's going to go up one of either two ways. One is going to leave like by the time the season has started, or he's actually going to be part of the first team. But Fiorini is someone who's never been looked apart at County when he has played. Obviously, he went on loan to was Dundee United, or was it Dundee?
I think it was Dundee United. I think.
Yeah, and I don't know how he actually did for them. I mean, Dundee United, they got
a lot of minutes.
Yeah, but I mean, they got conference. They're playing now actually in the Conference League qualifying, but like you said, he probably didn't get a lot of minutes.
Yeah, I remember he'd just gone, and I think it was a Sunday morning, and I put Sky on, and I think Rangers were playing him, and I thought I'll just watch it just out of interest to see, if he's starting or whatever. And I don't even think he was on the bench. I was just like, oh, yeah, okay, it's not a great start for him at Dundee, then, is it?
No.
And I've not heard much about him doing well since then, so I can't imagine the loan went particularly that well for him. But as I say, he's come back to County for pre-season. He's been to Pinatar. It looks like he's going to be part of plans for at least the beginning of this season.
What's more likely now?
Yeah, and like at the same time, there's very much a Will Collar-shaped hole in that squad that hasn't been replaced yet. I'm just looking at it and thinking, maybe it's because we've already got someone in the door that we felt could have replaced him already in Fiorini. Put it this way, I'd like to see him get the chance because I don't think he really got the minutes last season.
Yeah, just real quick, I just want to say, I'll just look through the comments. Even to Goodney, it's a very Icelandic name, so I'm guessing you're watching from Iceland. Thank you for supporting.
Yeah, I echo that. He didn't play then, or he didn't plan there. I don't know what he means by that. I'm guessing, is he talking about Fiorini?
I'm guessing so, yeah. Because
he can play in that kind of area, though, can't he? That Collar plays in.
Yeah, well, like centre mid, I think, especially when he was a youngster in City's academy, he was probably more like an attacking midfield oriented. But
he's
definitely
probably more attacking than Collar because Collar could be quite box to box at times as well.
Collar was a box to box naturally.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, but he could also do a job going forward. He had the goals to his game, didn't he, as well?
Yeah, that was it. The third player you mentioned there was Nick Powell, and that's been a whole kind of running saga by itself with just where has he been. So I don't know, Powell probably is one of them where it's like he probably excels in training, but
he's often training. I don't know. A lot of people. There's a lot of people have come up with rumours about what might be happening. The truth is, none of us know what's going on with Powell, but I think that's part of the problem because no one knows what's happening, and everyone wants to know what's happening. They start to speculate about what might be happening, and I suppose we all fall into the trap. Like, is there a problem with him there? Is it that he's always injured? I mean, we know that he typically does have injuries a lot, and that's probably why he didn't make it at a high level. But we never hear that he's injured really very often.
No.
Sometimes it's just like, oh, you don't even get talked about. And I'll say pretty much last season, I think people can check the stats, how many games he played last season. On the top of my head, I think it was around 6 or 7. And even that, how many of them were starts? He's not played a lot last season. I thought his first season was actually quite decent. I know he had a lot of criticism the season before. I think it would have been his debut season, wouldn't it? But I thought he was all right that season. He contributed well. But
okay, so last season he played 7 matches. He started 3 of them. He got 1 assist, and he played a total of 240 minutes.
Yeah, that's not a lot, is it?
That's 2270. So that's not even 3-4 games.
Yeah, and he's not getting any younger either. He's into the final year of his contract as well. I think it does feel a little bit like we will be seeing him go. Next summer, the end of this season. I don't think it'll happen before then because he's probably on decent money. Why would he look to move on? He's probably not going to be off the contract better or similar to what he's on, and also he lives fairly close to where he's from. So I'm not sure what's going to happen there. Stockport official saying he's going to Crewe on loan. We'll wait and see if that happens. I've not heard anything around that, to be fair, but I'll keep an eye on it. It would be an interesting one, and I'd love to know how much of the wages are being covered. Because I still think County will end up paying some of them. And Nigel said, Powell's contract ends 26, so because he signed a 3-year deal, didn't he? So
yeah.
Panini's in the chat as well. He's saying weird to have Fiorini in photo shoots if he isn't considered to be part of the squad. I don't know. I mean, he says that, but then Alafi was, I think, in the wasn't Alafi in the promotion video for the new season when they were doing season tickets, and then Alafi went to Charlton. So I never read too much into that. When a player's in a kit, how many players have we seen in kit launches and then they move on?
But the thing is, that's pre-planned. That's not just taken from like a couple of days prior. That's done in advance. Exactly.
I mean, that could have been done ages ago. That kit. Having said that, he was on loan, wasn't he? So it's definitely happened since he's come back, and obviously we've seen it being filmed. We saw the leaked images, so we know it was done probably around 2 weeks ago. But I do think he's got to be part of the plan, surely, unless a really good offer comes in for him, like a loan move or something that is too good to turn down, where he's going to get more minutes than what he's going to get at County. Then I think he's going to be part of the plans, and I do think he could surprise us. And I think Nigel said that in the chat as well, and hopefully he does, because
potentially, I'd like to be wrong on him.
Yeah, he's obviously got the potential. He was very well thought of at Manchester City's academy as well. So a bit like what we said about Louis Barry before, who hadn't typically done very well in his previous loans, but Chalmers saw something in him. Who's to say he's not seen the same in Fiorini? Maybe he just couldn't find a place for him in the squad because maybe certain players were just ahead of him at that point in time. Now those players have moved on, a spot opens up for him, and it's his sort of shirt to lose, isn't it? Really.
Exactly that.
So, also as well, want to talk a little bit about some other players that sort of kicked on a little bit at the end of last season. It felt like Jayden Fevrier and Jack Diamond, both, and particularly Diamond as well. It felt like, because we saw glimpses from Fevrier throughout the season here and there, but with Diamond, it really felt like we saw it in sort of March onwards. I think back to sort of Peterborough away stood out particularly. He got the goal in that game, didn't he? I think.
I can't remember if it was.
He was involved. I think he got a goal just before half time in one of the games around that period. Anyway, the point being, he sort of kicked on and looked really sharp, and then obviously
that would have been Peterborough.
He got the match suspension, didn't he? The 3-match ban.
Yeah, because that's when he missed some. Yeah. Would they have missed Peterborough now?
No, it's from the Peterborough game, I think, or was it? No, it was from the Huddersfield game.
Oh no, so it was the Leyton Orient game, the first leg away.
He missed Wickham away. He missed Orient. He was back for the second leg, I think.
Yeah.
So Stockport official said in the chat, I think we'll finish top 3. Wedge, I think we'll finish, lads. I'm going to say
we're both said second.
I think that's the aim. That would be where I'd want to see us finish, but it's really tough. It's so tough to put my neck on the line. And I'm going to say we finish in the top 2.
Yeah, I'm just going to put one. I don't really care about putting my neck on the line. Whatnot. Because obviously, neither of us are sidekicks. But I'm just going to go optimistic.
No one knows.
Yeah, I'm going to look at last season, thinking coming up into League One, the standards increase, and I was thinking, I'd be content with a top 10 finish, and then we almost I got automatic. So I was literally it came down to a couple of moments where had they gone differently, we would have got promoted.
By margins. Like, we could easily be sat here now talking about preparing for a new season in the Championship.
Yeah.
That's how close we were. So it's just correcting a few mistakes here and there. Can we push on? Can we do that a little bit better than what we did last season? Because last season was a brilliant season. Diamond scored late against the Posh. I thought it was Peterborough.
Yeah.
So we're both going with second then. You think Fevs and Diamond will continue in the same vein of form that they showed at back in the last season then?
Yeah, I expect so. Fevrier, I mean, we've seen the kind of player is kind of, you don't really see many wingers like him where obviously they're very fast, very technical, but also they look very physically strong as well. Like they look like they can really outmuscle the defenders off the ball, even though they're a winger. So, but there you go, Fevrier. I mean, obviously he's had his problem moments of brilliance, but there was one where he came on and he got a goal and assist or something. I can't remember which game it was. I'd have to look back at your vlogs last season. Was
it Blackpool?
No, that was Andresen.
Rotherham. He came on and had an impact. Was it Rotherham or Huddersfield? Huddersfield might have been. It was one. Honestly, those games around that period of time, they all sort of become a blur. But I do remember he came on at half time and he got a goal and an assist, like you say. But to be honest, one of the first things I think of is Cambridge, first game of last season.
I missed that though. I can't remember what I was doing.
He come on and he cut back and he put a wonderful cross into the box. Wootton tapped home.
Oh, okay.
2-0. So yeah, we know he's got the quality, and we just want to see more of it. And I think we will. I'm also looking forward to seeing another strong season from the start this time with Ollie Norwood. So we'll sort of refereeing decisions denied his promotion in the season and playoffs. Yeah,
I don't want to say it, but
I think you can say it. To be fair, I think it's a fair point. We look at Wrexham and so on and so forth. A couple of decisions with Northampton away, where we should have. They gave a free kick, didn't they? And it was.
I forgot about that.
It was clash of heads, and
right in front of us.
It should have been a drop kick or something. There's no way it's
a drop kick.
Drop ball. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not a drop kick. Although I think some of our players would like to drop kick the ref after that.
I think both of us wanted to get out of spams and drop kick the ref when that happened.
Yeah, I wasn't happy. And that's when Adai was really unlucky, when he's gone across and he's deflected last minute. And he's gone into the centre of the goal. Yeah.
Loads of people were giving him shit for that, which I didn't understand because the ball, he hits the ball. Had I seen the trajectory of the ball, but then it takes a slight deflection off a player, but then that's enough for the ball to move out of the way. But by that time, Adai's already moved to the side.
It literally just whistled past his hand as well.
Yeah.
He just couldn't quite get back enough.
In my opinion, he was unlucky with it.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many players. Again, second season for him. Is it going to be a stronger beginning of the season for him than it was last season? Is he guaranteed that number one spot this going into this season with Hinchliffe back fit again?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, we saw Adai come a bit more into his own in the latter half of the season. Obviously, he's gotten a lot of hate at County, but now we're chanting his name every game. So he's definitely still going to remain number one. I mean, Ben, is this his final year of his contract?
I think he's got another year left.
Yeah.
I think this might be his final year. Trying to think if he signed a 2 or 3 year deal last summer.
For some reason, I'm under the impression that this is his final year now. So Ben now is. I fully imagine Ben is now the backup.
I think he's ready for goalkeeping coach role as well when he winds up his career. I think he'll stay at County. Although you don't know at this point in time, because at the moment, if you're at Stockport County, the only way is up. And if he does decide to be a goalkeeping coach for County, who's to say he won't end up at Barcelona not long after? Because we've seen what happened with Andy Mangan linked to Real Madrid. He's then gone to Botafogo. So
took the words right out my mouth there.
Yeah, the only way is up. Actually, that makes he's saying the only way is up a positive thing for County or negative. I don't want it to sound negative. Anyway, Panini said wouldn't have put it past Dave to start Ben. Same goes for Wootton, to be honest. Well, I tell you what, because we'll wrap it up soon because we've been going for nearly an hour. Bolton next Sunday.
Yeah.
12 o'clock kick-off. I'm buzzing for it. Cannot wait.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Strongest 11, because we know that Chalner likes to free at the back. Chalner likes to free at the back, but he also likes to play sort of the 4 at the back at times as well. He likes to switch between the two. What is Chalner's strongest 11?
Do you know what? Just so I don't forget about any players, I'm having to look on FotMob here. I mean, my memory is terrible with stuff anyway, but yeah, strongest 11 of the Adai in goal, obviously. Although, obviously, Ben, we all know how brilliant Ben is.
I was just going to say, is it a 3 or 4 at the back?
I imagine it's going to be a 3 at the back. I can imagine Hoskonen, Olowu, and Pai starting that with that. And then we'll play Edun and O'Keefe as wing backs.
Are you going with a midfield 3 or midfield 2?
Usually, I'm going midfield 2 because then we'll be playing a striker and 2 wingers. Midfield 2, I can imagine Lewis Bates and then probably Ollie Norwood. And then wingers with the players we have, I'd say Movizil. And then for striker, I'd personally say Benno, but Chalner will start Wootton. And then on the right, Diamond. That's my strongest 11.
Interesting. Anyway. I think he'll go with two up top.
And we can do, yeah, but it's all about who we play at. Like I said, do we play Movizil in behind?
I was just going to say, I think our strongest 3 at the back 11 at the moment is Adai in goal, Corey O'Keefe and Tayo Edun's the 2 wing backs. As you say, Pai, Olowu and Hoskonen as the 3 defenders. Then I think we'll pick a midfield 3 of Bate, Norwood, and probably someone like Camps or Moxon as the extra midfielder. And then I think we're looking at Wootton and Movizil, because what you can do with Movizil is you can shift him out to left at times if you need him to as well. So I think he'll go with those 2 as his preferred front 2. And of course, if it's like a 4-3-3 or something, then of course you'll have Movizil on the left and maybe a Diamond or Febs on the right.
So we're going to use Movizil as like an Alafe role where we can switch in. He's very fluid between either out and like fallen striker and kind of like inside forward.
I think so. I mean, obviously he's got slightly different qualities to Alafe. I think he's probably technically better in terms of with the ball at his feet. So that's a plus. Is he quicker? We'll have to wait and see. Is he better finisher? The stats suggest he is. So I'm excited to see, but I think that's where we'll probably predominantly see him play.
Yeah.
Nigel's saying, hope Ben stays with us and has a great testimonial. It'd be nice to see us give him a testimonial. Thinking maybe next summer.
It'll be next summer, yeah.
Yeah, when we're up in the championship. You've got to say it before, to make it happen. Chalner said he had problems staying fit last year. Maybe if he could address that, he may reach his potential. Fiorini, he clarified Fiorini. Yeah, I hope that's the case. I really do hope that's the case. And Nigel's also back in the chat as well. I think there will be a couple in before next Friday, and that will challenge for a start at Bolton. Interesting on that one. We're going to wrap it up shortly. We're going to wrap it up soon, actually. I'm just going to ask you very quickly, if we don't get you on the channel before now and next week against Bolton to speak about this, what are your thoughts and expectations going into that Bolton game?
I've not started thinking about that yet. I mean, at this point, I'm wanting football to be back. I'm not thinking as much about the games as I'm just thinking about just getting back into the ground, having stuff like having like weekends to schedule, like to have plans again.
Yeah.
So right now, I unfortunately don't have much fear. I think we'll win. I think we'll win. Definitely think we'll win. We have a really good record against Bolton in recent times, but I don't think it's going to be a turnover like it was at Edgewood Park last year.
I think to be fair to you as well, I think you'll get a better idea once you've been in the ground and it's Stockport, tomorrow. Once
they've seen the pre-season games.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that, and of course we will be covering that on the channel as well. I'll probably try and catch you on there pretty much if I can. Sure, we need another left-sided defensive option. That's what Adam spoke about at the beginning. I think you said that was the area to. Yeah,
we'll definitely get another left back in.
Yeah. Right. Okay, we're going to wrap it up. Thanks everyone who's tuned in. Appreciate the comments as well. If you're watching afterwards as well, do get your thoughts in. Nigel says, good night, fellas. Great stream. Thanks a lot for coming in.
See you, Nigel. Take care.
For your contributions as well. Obviously, we'll get you on the vlog. We'll be doing both the Salford and Hull vlogs this weekend ahead of the new season. So hope you'll keep your eyes out for that one. I want to say a big thanks to you as well for coming on, Adam.
No, thanks for having me, mate. And obviously, see you tomorrow, I guess.
Yeah, and big thanks to everyone who's tuned in. Hopefully, you all enjoy the rest of the evening and hopefully have a good weekend. If we don't, if we're not on the channel before that, then and now. So, night, everyone, and thanks for tuning in.